Coming up, today is a day to celebrate the strong women in your life and the community. And later, the university has big plans to switch up a central building on campus.
Iowa men's basketball team prepares for the Big Ten tournament.
Another snow-filled weekend is up ahead for Iowa City.
This is DITV News at 8:30. Good morning and thank you for tuning in live to DITV and KRUI 89.7 FM. I'm Samantha Bielema. Today is International Women's Day. International Women's Day shines a spotlight on the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women worldwide. Following the trend, the Iowa City Downtown District plans to celebrate the holiday and remind people of women's contribution to local community and worldwide.
Beadology is a bead and craft jewelry store that is completely women-owned.
And so in some ways, because we're woman-owned and managed and a woman-centered space, kind of every day is an appreciation of women's history.
The current sister duo has operated their business since 2008 and has continued to be successful in Iowa City.
We use our creativity, our skills, our community relationships, and our stubbornness to make sure that we survive. We're really happy to be one of the bead stores that's left standing. Bead stores across the country have been closing even pre-COVID.
For more information about this business, you can visit their website or their location on Clinton Street. From Iowa City, Angelica Toro, DITV.
And the University of Iowa received a multi-million-dollar grant from the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. The purpose of this grant is to do research on how climate change affects our lung health. The survey done in 2021 studied 10,000 young adults and found that 59% of those people were extremely worried about climate change. The $2.1 million grant donated to the UI will fund 5 years of research to hopefully come closer to a conclusion on how climate change is damaging to not only the Earth, but us as well. Russia's war in Ukraine has impacted the world in an unexpected or unprecedented way, and Iowa City is no exception. Daily Iowa News reporter Jack Moore interviewed 2 University of Iowa students who are from the Ukraine to shed light on their experience of living away from home while war rages back home. Jack, how would these students describe their experience living in Iowa City?
Yeah, thanks, Samantha. I can say that these students have reflected an incredible amount of strength and resilience when it comes to dealing with not only the workload of college, but a conflict that is going directly against their culture. One of the students I talked with, Oksana Herchak, actually holds a club at Phillips Hall every week that goes over Ukrainian language and Ukrainian culture to kind of spread the word about their culture. Yeah.
What would these students say is important for our fellow UI students to know and understand about this conflict?
Yeah, so staying up to date is a big one. They've had conversations with other University of Iowa students, and a lot of the times people know what's going on, but there's other times that they might not say anything at all or just seem unaware of what's happening in Ukraine. So I think that's really important. And on the other side of that, Russia, the conflict with Russia, I think they want people to know that it's really important to be unified in how we deal with it, and that it's not just a threat to Ukraine, but also the whole world.
Thanks, Jack. It was announced that a long-standing university building is moving towards a big transition. DITV News reporter Wyatt Johnson has the details.
After years of hosting Hawkeye families, the university has announced that the Iowa House Hotel will transition into a student well-being center in the very near future. For Vice President of Student Life Sarah Hansen, this plan has been in the works for quite some time, and she is hopeful that it will benefit the physical and mental health of the entire Hawkeye community.
Our goal would be that it truly ends up feeling different for folks who are part of this community in terms of feeling like everyone has the support they need to be as well as possible for them so that they can then excel in the classroom and beyond.
The center is anticipated to include access to university counseling services, relaxation spaces, and even chain restaurants.
Our hope, I think, would be that when you come into the union in 5 years, that while there would be some elements that would remind you of your time here, there would also be a lot of new kind of experiences of the building and the way that the building feels and looks.
Planning for this center will take place throughout the rest of this year, with construction able to begin as soon as early 2024. From Iowa City, I'm Wyatt Johnson, DITV.
Thanks, Wyatt. With spring break coming up, DITV news reporter David Consuelos is live outside to tell us about the weather.
Thanks, Samantha. I am outside Carver Hawkeye Arena, where it is currently 35 degrees and a little windy this morning. All the perfect weather for me to fail my intermediate microeconomics exam later today. Now let's kick it over to the Old Capitol to check out the weather for today. It will remain cloudy for the rest of the day, but luckily the afternoon looks a little warmer as we'll reach 44 degrees with a cool night temperature of 34. Tomorrow we'll have you guessed it, another snow day paying us a visit. However, temperatures won't drop too low with a high of 37. Looking at the week ahead, a cloudy Friday will see temps in the 30s, and the weekend will continue that trend, but also be, that's right, full of snow. Thankfully, as we start our break, the sun is expected to return and hopefully melt away all the snow. Back to you, Samantha.
Thanks, David. Smoothie and acai lovers, look out. A new shop is making its way to downtown Iowa City. Everbowl, a quick-serve acai bowl and smoothie chain, is expected to open in May and will be located on Madison Street, across from the University Rec Center. This chain is the second location in Iowa, with plans in place to increase to 10 locations around the state. And last Friday, 4 Americans were kidnapped in Mexico. DITV News reporter Johnny Valtman has more on the situation.
4 Americans entered Tamaulipas, Mexico on Friday morning, where a pickup truck pulled them over. A cartel raided the Americans' van, taking all 4 passengers, and left. Yesterday, the Americans were found, 2 dead and 2 alive, in a house outside Matamoros. Both the United States and Mexico are now working together to find out who was responsible for the abduction.
I've been briefed by the FBI, which is working with Mexican authorities, and senior department officials are working closely with our counterparts at the State Department.
So far, 1 person who was guarding the house the victims were in was arrested. Investigators point that the Americans were mistaken for a rival cartel, leading to the incident.
Ultimately, we want to see accountability for the violence that has been inflicted on these Americans that tragically led to the death of 2 of them.
The incident is part of a larger problem for the Mexican government as cartel violence continues to hurt the country. This is Johnny Valtman, DITV News.
And St. Patrick's Day is just around the corner, and some University of Iowa students are getting ready to celebrate. University of Iowa concert band students, alumni, and parents are traveling to Ireland over spring break. They will have opportunities to experience Irish music, culture, and even perform themselves. Director of the band and this trip, Richard Heidel, traveled to Ireland with students in 2018 and hoped to do so every 4 years. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it was postponed, but now he made sure to invite any alumni who had missed out on the opportunity. Now let's send it over to Sam Hine for DITV Sports.
Thanks, Samantha. It's Big Ten tournament time for Iowa men's basketball. DITV sports reporter Sarah Galla gives us a recap on how the team did last season and what they are looking to accomplish this time around.
As we all know, the Iowa men's basketball team is the previous Big Ten tournament champions. And now, present day, are looking to keep their reigning title at the United Center this week.
I want to play with some swag, returning champs. That's how you should play.
We definitely want to repeat what we did last year. I think we have a good chance to do so.
Last season, to get this title, the Hawkeyes beat the Northwestern Wildcats, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, the Indiana Hoosiers in the semifinals, and then the Purdue Boilermakers in the championship game with a final score of 75-66. 2 non-returning players from last season that helped lead this team to victory was Keegan Murray and Jordan Bohannon. Although the current players on this team are more than thrilled to be heading to this tournament and to possibly become back-to-back champions.
You also need to take a step back and just realize every game is going to be tough. I definitely have high expectations for this group.
Just like last season, the Hawkeyes will be the 5th seed in the tournament. The Hawkeyes' first game will be played this Thursday, either against the Ohio State Buckeyes or the Wisconsin Badgers. I will be attending the tournament and sharing all the latest updates on the Iowa men's basketball team. Until then, from Carver Hawkeye Arena, I'm Sarah Galla, DITV Sports.
Thanks, Sarah. The AP poll for women's basketball came out Monday afternoon, and the Iowa Hawkeyes have made a tremendous push. The Gamecocks of South Carolina remain #1 for the 37th straight week after winning the Southeastern Conference tournament last weekend. They remain undefeated and will most likely represent the #1 overall seed in the Women's March Madness tournament. However, it's Iowa causing all the chaos right now as they move up 5 spots to #2 overall, passing Stanford, Maryland, and former #2 Indiana. This is Iowa's best ranking in the AP polls in nearly 30 years, dating back to their 8-week reign as #2 in 1994. This move up the rankings from Iowa makes them a potential candidate to lead their own quadrant of the madness coming soon. And the Iowa wrestling squad is coming off another impressive finish at the Big Ten tournament, sending everybody to the NCAA championships next week. DITV sports reporter AJ Reister is live outside Carver to tell us more. AJ.
That's right, Sam. Iowa may have taken second last weekend as a team in Ann Arbor, but they will be sending all 10 wrestlers to Tulsa, Oklahoma next weekend to compete for NCAA titles. 125-pounder Spencer Lee will headline the tournament with a chance to become only the 5th wrestler in history to win 4 national titles. He would join the likes of Pat Smith, Kyle Dake, Logan Stieber, and current Penn State head coach Cale Sanderson to complete the feat. Another Hawkeye that could be joining Lee under the spotlight is 141-pounder Big Ten champion Real Woods. He has qualified for the NCAA tournament 3 times in his collegiate career and has finished as high as 6th just last year. He will have a chance next week to win his first title as he is ranked 2nd going into the tournament, the highest he's ever been ranked. Be sure to check the Daily Iowan for all things Hawkeye wrestling ahead of the tournament next Thursday. Now back to you in the studio, Sam.
Thanks, AJ. The Iowa Hawkeyes football program reached a settlement agreement in regard to the 2020 allegations of racial discrimination within the team. The settlement fully dismisses Kirk and Brian Ferentz along with strength coach Chris Doyle from the suit. The settlement is worth $4.175 million, and nearly half will be paid by state taxpayers. Iowa State Auditor Rob Sand is pushing for the firing or resignation of Athletic Director Gary Barta on the behalf of these taxpayers. Kirk Ferentz stated that the negotiations of the 2-1 board vote took place without any knowledge or consent of the coaches in the lawsuit, and that many of the Iowa staff believe the case would have been dismissed with prejudice before the trial. However, he looks ahead to next season, saying, quote, "For more than 2 years, our program has been unfairly and negatively impacted by these allegations. Members of the staff had their character and reputation tarnished by former members of our team who said things, then recanted many statements when questioned under oath. Today we move forward. My focus is entirely on the players, coaches, and staff as we prepare for the 2023 end season," end quote. The Iowa baseball team extended its winning streak yesterday after their 8-2 victory over Coe College at Dwayne Banks Field. Cade Obermueller started on the mound, going 3 innings and striking out 6 of the 11 batters he faced. Third baseman Raider Tello led the team on offense, going 2 for 5 at the plate, notching 1 run and 1 RBI. The Hawkeyes are now 10-1 to start the season, which is the best start to a season Iowa's had since 1942. And that's all for sports. Now let's head back outside to recap the weather once again. Dave?
Thank you, Samuel. Although the weather may not represent it, spring break is this upcoming week, and with the snow coming this weekend, traveling may be a little difficult. So here are some tips to make sure you make it to your destination. Make sure to coordinate when to leave so the snow won't be an issue. Friday is expected to be cloudy but snow-free, so that would be a great day. If you're driving, make sure you slow down in snowy conditions to avoid skidding. Take your time and don't hurry. Wish me luck on my exam later today. Finish out the week strong and stay safe out there, Hawkeyes. Back to you, Samantha.
Thanks, David, and thank you for tuning in to DITV News and listening to KRUI 89.7 FM. Be sure to head over to thedailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday, and check out more of our content on thedailyiowan.com/DITV. For DITV News, I'm Samantha Bielema. Have a great day.